EPACK Prefab start?
EPACK Prefab started as a sandwich panel manufacturer.
What's that message that you would give out to a graduate?
Especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, then the passion or the hunger has to be there.
Sir, how do you manage time?
I don't think anyone can manage time.
During COVID, how was the work culture? How were you guys managing?
Virtually, every day in the morning at 7:30, we had this yoga session.
A management graduate, making it big in the world of business. That's the dream that thrives in the heart of you today. We'll talk to one such CXO. We'll be talking about him, his story, the company, and CXO Mantra.
EPACK Prefab is a well-known player in engineering, fabrication and project management for a diverse range of industries to compile a total pre-engineered building solution. Beside this, EPACK Prefab has the manufacturing facility for the cold roll form sections in a variety of intricate profiles to meet the requirement of wide spectrum of industry, which is airport terminals, logistics, construction, automobiles, railways, material handling, power generation, hospital, school. You have known the company. Today we'll introduce you to the brain behind building the firm, Sanjay Singhania. Sanjay Singhania is the managing director of EPACK Prefab or EPACK Group. Over the last 2 decades, he has been the driving force behind group's expansion into diverse sectors. Sanjay did his BCom honours from Guwahati Commerce College and then flew down to an MBA degree from Swinburne University of Technology in Melbourne. With a rich educational background, he has taken EPACK to new heights and spearheaded the company's growth into the prefabricated segment, making it one of the leading PEB players in the industry today.
Today we have Mr. Singhania with us. Welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
For starters, I would like to know how did EPACK Prefab start and what exactly company means to you?
See, EPACK Prefab started as a sandwich panel manufacturer for telecom shelters in the year 2007.
Okay.
Because, that was the year in which, there was a lot of boom in the telecom industry. And we saw quite a few people making good valuations and good business. There was a tremendous growth in the telecom industry, which was followed by the huge demand in telecom shelters.
Fair enough.
So we set up this manufacturing facility in Greater Noida to cater to the telecom shelter market.
Okay.
But as it happens in all the businesses, it happened with us as well. By the time we had the plant ready, there were too many people who had come into this business.
Okay.
And by the time we were commercially ready with the product,
competition increased.
Competition was already there, and somehow we realized very soon, within 2-3 months of starting the business, that this business is not for us now.
Okay.
They are already cutthroat competition and hardly there is any margin in this business. So then we went out, we were meeting customers, we were looking for opportunities, and we realized a space for ourselves. So that was we got the opportunity to use our sandwich panels into building construction.
Right.
Yeah, especially into modular construction, modular housing, and that too for the infrastructure sector, where they wanted rapid construction to be done, so that they could deploy their manpower to the sites, to the construction sites rapidly. And we started with manufacturing, or rather giving a complete solution, including design, manufacturing and execution at the site, for making prefabricated housing for the infrastructure sector, making housing for the labor accommodations, site offices, engineers accommodation, and staff dormitory and things like that.
You mentioned about sandwich panels. We'll come on that later. We want to focus on the CXO part first. So, Mr. Singhania, while I was studying about you, I came to know that you have done your BCom from Guwahati and then moved to Australia to earn an MBA. And I guess it must be long back. So, how was the experience going to Australia at that very point when there is no connectivity as such? How was the experience and how did you end up taking that big step?
So, I graduated from Guwahati, Assam. I was pursuing my CA as well as ICWA along with my graduation.
Okay.
So I was always into studies. I was a good student.
Right.
So I got the inspiration to do something big, and I think that was the reason I started out looking for avenues where I could do better in life. And fortunately, I got the opportunity to go to Australia. But that was a time when there was hardly any Google or internet,
Right.
and there was no communication. Rather, this mobile phone came into the country
Yeah.
in the year '96.
Okay.
After 1 year, I had
Oh my
been to
God.
Australia.
That's a big decision to take.
Yeah. So you'd be surprised that I could reach out or I could learn about Australia by going to the Australian embassy and finding out about the country, the culture, and things like that. So those were difficult, different times altogether, but
Right.
good fun to be in Australia.
That's actually going somewhere without a map.
Yeah.
People really get
Yeah.
scared doing that.
Yeah.
Sir, you've written a book. I would want you to tell me, how did you come up with the idea that you want to write a book, and what is it about for our
Yeah.
viewers?
See, my book is about the art of prefabrication, and I'm into the business of prefabricated buildings. But I did a course about 5 years back, and the coach,
Okay.
the business coach rather, he told us that nowadays, what works best with someone, you would like to connect with either through LinkedIn or personally, is you write a book about your industry, so that you can establish yourself as an authority in that industry. So this that the idea was through the instruction by my coach.
Right.
But yeah, I thought I liked the idea, so I wrote this book, and it has really helped me to get inroads into good customers and the people I want to connect to get more business. And also while writing this this book, I realized that there are quite a few things which my customers or the industry in general should know about it. Yeah.
So was it difficult to write a book?
It wasn't that difficult because this is something which I do for my bread and butter. So yeah, most of the things are already there in my mind. But
Okay.
yes, while writing down, obviously a lot of things come up in your mind, and you need to structure it well.
Right.
So it happened, yeah.
And
it's
you
good. I'm
were
happy
able to
about it.
manage time.
Yeah.
That's rightly said. So what is your CXO mantra? That's a patent question that we ask everybody, but everyone has a different answer. So what's yours?
So there is no replacement to hard work. Hard work is success mantra for all the CXOs. But besides, hard work, I think the ability to learn on a continuous basis to upgrade yourself, so that you are able to lead a bigger organization is very, very important. And then also I think developing the right team and capable team is very, very important. And to be able to develop a right team, you need to figure out how you deal with people, and what are the leadership qualities you need to build up. So learning about leadership and organizational behavior, how does the organizational behavior impacts the entire company, is something which I think all the CXOs must learn.
Rightly said. So coming to the company, I had a question. Like you
Yeah.
also mentioned about sandwich panels. So we know as far is that it is one of the core product of the business. Is
Yeah.
there something more to the company?
There is much more to the EPACK Prefab business other than sandwich panels. Basically, EPACK Prefab is an integrator of prefab technologies.
Okay.
So while we have sandwich panels, different types of sandwich panels, we have Rockwool, polyurethane, EPS sandwich panels.
Okay.
And these sandwich panels are drywall construction. They don't need any kind of water or any kind of energy.
Okay.
They are just walls which are made in the factory, and they can be installed anywhere within no
Okay.
time.
So the delivery is also done by the company?
Yeah, delivery is done by the company, and even the execution at the site is done by the company.
Okay.
So a room of say 500 square feet can be constructed in just one day.
Oh my
So
God.
that is the kind of speed with which these sandwich panels can help the construction industry. But besides the sandwich panels, we also do pre-engineered buildings, which are typically say a factory building or a warehouse building or a multi-story building. So those kind of construction is basically steel construction, but it is again made in the factory.
Okay.
And delivered at the site and executed at the site.
Okay. That's quite an interesting, input. I would want to know, do people, like normal people, also approach for such products?
Yeah, they do,
Or do you see a future in it? That's the
yes,
actual
yes,
question.
Yeah. So, people, they come across various videos, which show repeat deployment, and especially, with the likes of Elon Musk living in a modular house.
Right.
And, videos, showing that he's living in a modular house, and how fast it is, and how convenient it is. So there are a lot of queries from people in our website, and we get a lot of leads. But unfortunately, like we feel that the market in India for those kind of box build housing is too nascent at this time.
Right.
So like at this time, what we are doing is we are entertaining most of the commercial or industrial or institutional queries, and not the residential sector.
Right. Yeah. That's actually true, because while I was reading about it, that's when I actually realized that technology has reached this far, honestly. So, how does EPACK Prefab stand out in a market that's already flooded with multitudes of materials, suppliers, and customers are also looking for their pocket, that how much are we paying?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Like, is it yet to reach that stage, or what exactly it is?
So, we have sandwich panels, we have this structural steel fabrication, and then we have technologies like LGSF, and going forward we are adding few more technologies which will help in rapid construction, and everything will be prefabricated. So that is there in our business. And in our business, as a USP, our USP is rapid construction and exceeding customer expectations. So rapid construction is our USP, and the entire DNA, entire culture of the company is oriented towards rapid construction.
Right.
So I think when it comes to fast construction, without any hesitation, I can tell you we are the fastest construction company in the country.
Wow, that's a big thing. Sir, post-COVID, it's almost been 4 years. There has been a boom in the real estate. So, are you able to meet the expectation of the customers, or are we still driving the road?
Yeah. So, COVID has, or rather post-COVID has been a blessing for us.
Okay.
Because, in the last 3 years, our prefabricated business has grown by almost 700%.
My God.
So, that is the kind of, scale or pace with which we have grown in the last 3 years. So, it has been a blessing, and, we have developed a good team, a capable team who can execute projects on a rapid scale, and we have put up new facilities. So we have put up 2 huge facilities, one in Rajasthan and the other one in Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
And today, as far as the capacity is concerned, we are the second largest capacity in the country for pre-engineered buildings.
Okay. Yeah. That's actually nice. That's quite a huge number.
Yeah.
With demand comes the question of execution.
Yeah.
So has it ever been a challenge for the company?
Yeah, see, execution is a challenge for the industry.
Okay.
But fortunately, I think we have worked on our team, and we have some very, very good leaders who can foresee the requirement of the customer, who can foresee the demand of the customers, and who are aligned to the vision of the company. So, we have a great leader in the form of Mr. Keshav, who is leading our project department.
Okay.
And he's about a 32-year-old guy, handling a team of almost 160 to 170 engineers.
Right.
And that is the kind of leadership we have in all the spaces, be it design or operations or sales and things like that. So we are fortunate in that way that we have a great leadership team, which is aligned to the vision of the company.
So just out of curiosity, I want to ask, during COVID, how was the work culture? How were you guys managing?
Yeah. See, during COVID, we did various things like everyone else. We connected with our people, so there was not even a single day we were disconnected from them.
Okay.
So our chairman, Mr. B.L. Bothra, he came up with this idea. He is a yoga enthusiast. He follows yoga and meditation on a daily basis.
Right.
So he came up with this idea, and virtually every day in the morning at 7:30, at 7:30 we had this yoga session, virtual yoga session with the team.
Oh God.
All through all the 45 days during the first COVID.
Right.
So that was a good way to interact not only with the employees but also with the families. So immediately the families and their children also connected.
Right.
So I think that was one way to connect with the people. Besides that, we also organized a lot of training sessions, because everyone was free and wanted to do something and add value. So we organized a lot of training sessions for our people. We showed them videos together of theory of constraints and lean manufacturing and things like that. And everyone was working, no one
quite
was
productive.
just,
I must
it was
say.
Productive, very, very productive in fact. Yes.
Okay. So recently, EPACK Durable got listed in January 2024.
Yeah.
So do you see EPACK Prefab also getting listed? Are there any plans, or you haven't thought about it? What exactly is the scenario right now?
See, I will tell you about the EPACK group.
Acha.
EPACK group, was started in the year 1999 and 2000, and we are 4 promoters or other co-founders. So, it is Mr. B.L. Bothra, Mr. L.P. Bothra, Sanjay Singhania, my younger brother, and myself.
Okay.
So, it is 4 of us, and we have 4 verticals, and all those verticals are into different companies. So, we have, we started as a packaging company. So, that is why the name is EPACK.
Right.
Yeah, we started as a packaging company, so packaging vertical is still there. Then we have durables business, we have prefabricated building business, and we have petrochem, which is a new vertical for us.
Okay.
So all 4 verticals are being managed by 4 different promoters, and we are into the board of each of the companies.
Okay.
Yeah. And as far as the listing of EPACK Durable is concerned and EPACK Prefab is concerned going forward, it was a great experience, listing a entity, and it is always a dream of any entrepreneur to list, his entity.
Right.
And we were quite fortunate to list EPACK Durables Limited in January 2024, about 3 months back. Yeah. And as far as listing of prefab is concerned, we are growing great in prefab. We have grown at 700% in the last 3.5 years.
Right.
And we have reached a considerable scale now in the industry. And this year in 24-25 again we have a huge plan.
Okay.
We plan to grow by almost 80 to 90%.
Right.
So that is the target we have set for ourselves. And I think 24-25 is quite critical for us.
Okay.
Because this will pave the way for us to take the company public in 25-26.
Okay. So there are plans.
Yeah, there are definite plans, and we have started to work upon it. So there is some restructuring going on in the company, and the team development which can take up take up the work of IPO has already started.
Yes, that's quite a story, quite a growth story actually. Sir, since you mentioned about numbers, could you tell us about the order book that the company has right now?
See, typically I will tell you first how does the prefab industry work. So in prefabricated building industry, typically our order book would be for a period of 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
It is not like infrastructure or road project where the order book is for 3 years or 4 years.
4 years, right.
Ours is 3 to 4 months or maximum 5 months. So as of now, we have an order book of close to 690 crores.
Okay.
So this we have to deliver in the next 4 to 5 months. So typically at a run rate of 100 to 120 crores we have to deliver every month.
So we have talked so much. How do you feel like handling a company, talking about order books and everything like that? Like, how do you manage?
See, I feel an entrepreneur, his business is his first baby.
Okay.
Yeah. And he has to be passionate, I'm quite passionate about my business. And that's the only thing I think about, throughout the day. The rest, when it comes to my own children, then it is my wife. She is, most of the time interacting with the children and taking care of them. Yeah.
Right. So what's the growth story of the company?
See, as an entrepreneur and as a business and as a group, we are very aggressive when it comes to business, and we work with a philosophy that we have to be the top 3 player in whatever segment we operate. So in all the 3 businesses which we are operational right now, we are either number 1 or number 2. Prefab is the only business in which we are number 3 as of now.
Okay.
But just 24-25, our will reach the number 2 status, and 25-26 we would be definitely number 1 in the prefabricated building industry.
Quite nice, sir.
Yeah.
Anything that you will be adding to the company to increase the workflow, and what could be your success mantra in the coming financial year?
Yeah. See, in our business, we have to design all the buildings because all the buildings are customized buildings. So we have already started to work with a lot of IIT and IITians, especially IITians, to develop tools which are AI driven.
Okay.
So I think the first tool would be ready sometime in the month of April itself,
right,
which will help us to shorten the lead time in the building designing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is AI is something which is quite interesting for us, especially when it comes to building designing. and we are pursuing it like crazy now. Yeah. And then
True,
again,
sir.
we are putting up one more facility for the pre-engineering building industry in the west of India. Yeah.
They always say save the better and the best for the last. So I had this one question that I always had it in my mind the moment I got to know that I'll be interviewing you. What's that message that you would give out to a graduate, to make it big in the world of business?
See, kids nowadays, like they have exposure to so many platforms, YouTube and podcasts and things like that. So I don't think, they need my advice. But, still, I feel that if you want to do something, or especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, then the passion or the hunger has to be there. Like you need to have the hunger, because your ride is not going to be easy.
Right.
It is going to be quite topsy, and toughy ride. And the most important thing is never give up kind of an attitude you should have. Yeah. Rest, because of the ecosystem that is developed in the country as far as the startups are concerned, and getting the funding for the startups are concerned.
Right.
So, getting the funding is quite easy, and but execution is the key.
Well, that was quite a conversation. We'll see you in the next episode of CXO Mantra. Until then, keep watching Zee Business.